Hello, welcome along to me, Trevor C, once again. This time we indulge into the world of covers. Covers? Well, covers like this, for instance. Old Jungle Book covers. Also, more movie memorabilia. Dream Girls. Now, they are just covers which fit if people, are younger, as I said before. And we have this thing, which is back out again, vinyl. So, basically, and then you have the inlay of words and things like that. So, as we look on basically the basic tools of making records, vinyl, and doing all of these things much together, how much are they worth? Are they worth a lot of money, or are they not? Is it something when you get older you turn around and you say, well, let's chuck it in the bin? It's worthless, So what do? We chuck things away because we find it is not value. There's no value to it. Or even try and sell it. Nowadays, we've got CDs, which at the end of the day, you can get a CD like this, for instance. And the original cover and the original CD is worth more than this because this is just a repress of the original. Now, we've got certain markets which are buying CDs now, and I've been on them, where you can go on the internet and get rid of your old CDs and vinyl as well. And basically the money that they're giving you for it is like maybe 50 pence a CD. If you're lucky, you get £2 a CD. Now, we shouldn't be worried about the amount of money that they're making in return, because obviously these people have got to make a profit. In the year 2020, we've seen, I wouldn't say, if I say rich people, they go, oh, it's having a go, that's because we're rich. No, we're going to see people with like this disposable income who've got that money. This is the time to buy. And I mean, buy, because you're investing for the future. Now, at the end of the day, you've got all this vinyl, you've got all this CD. We call it junk. Junk that we want to get rid of. But this junk you want to get rid of, you've got to think about it now. Is this junk going to generate to you any monetary fund? Yes, it will, because if you sell it now, if you got 100 CDs, you sell it for 50 pence, do the maths, you're getting about 25 quid. If it's £1 each, you're getting £100 for the amount of CDs that you're selling, 100 CDs. Now, you might go, that's good money. What these companies are doing, they're not actually ripping you off. They're taking your old CDs, the ones which are a bit scratched, which are not really that good, and the covers are a bit torn. They sell it back to you on their website as used, which they are, because we can't turn around and say they're not used. They are used. The problem we have then, the better ones now, they kept that stored away for about 10 years or 5 years. When they store that away for about 10 years or 5 years, they then become collectibles. These are the decent ones. And even if they're second hand, they're worth money. Same with the vinyl. Now, people are actually not buying vinyl, or not buying the vinyl for what's inside the cover, because you could have a vinyl like this, for instance, as I throw away everything on the table. You could have a vinyl like this. Now, reggae vinyls, again, to be, costing a lot of money. But when you look at the state of this, it's not really in a good state, right? But if you look on the label, and you can see the artwork with the two girls there and the snakes and all that, and then you actually look on this, and then you go to the back of this. This is a piece of history. Now, even with the covers fizzled away and everything like that, it used to have a sticker there saying 99p. So now this album is devalued because at the end of the day, it could be worth 100 or 200 pounds. But it's devalued because of the creases, the vinyl inside there. People who have got money to spend money are no longer buying it for the vinyl. They're buying it for this, the cover. They frame them, they put them, they don't even play them on a turntable. So you might think to yourself, you sell this now, you might get maybe £1, £2.50, or maybe even a £5 if you're lucky, if it's in better condition. 10 years down the line, this one's probably be worth between £300 to £500. Now, how do I know that? 5 years ago, HMV and all of these stores started to make frames for record covers. Now, they didn't care about the vinyl. They didn't care nothing about that at all. What they cared about was the covers of the album, the artwork. Now we get into it. This is a new era and regime in pop artwork, of iconic pop artwork. You can look at stuff like Led Zeppelin, the Beatles with that famous iconic with the road crossing across the road, the zebra crossing with the Beatles. People literally don't really want the vinyl, what's inside of it. It's the photography, and you have to have the original. Now, people's going to say, you know, might look at home and say, well, I've got that, and I've got this, and I've got this. No, you need to look on the back of the cover of your vinyl, of the vinyl cover. I'm going to show you something. You might not come out clearly, but if you look here, you have a thing called a P. The P is to turn around and say when it was originally printed. Now, if the P is just there, that's fine. That's great. But if it's got a P and then a C, so like printed in 1979, and then he'll have a C next to it, and then he'll have copied in the year 2017. That is not the original cover. You will not make money off of that. So if someone offers you money for that now, just sell it. It's not worth nothing. It's not worth no value because it's not the original cover. You know, you have stuff like this, which we call pop art with Linda Lewis. She's not a great artist, but if it was an artist which was back in the day, which could command money, you would make money from Linda Lewis. You'd make money from, you know, the actual album what I just showed you because of the artwork on the pop artwork on it. Now, believe it or not, people who collect reggae, you're in for money. At this present moment, the Chinese bought a lot of 7 inches, a lot of reggae memorabilia. But because the reason why reggae is worth a lot more now, because the pressing plants in Jamaica closed down. Everything over there closed down. There are no longer, they do not exist, right? The Chinese have bought some of the pressing plants. Now, a lot of people's going to run and go, yeah, I got this Bob Marley, I got this, and I got... Bob Marley, as much as I love him, is not worth a lot of money because it's been printed over and over and over and over again. You have to have the original Bob Marley's photos, cuttings on album covers like that. If it's not the original, forget it. As I said, they do not care about the vinyl. It's all about the artwork in the front. For instance, this is another one. Now, to have the original artwork of this, it's worth a lot of money. Leave it as it is, I said, with the crinkle background, the stubs there, where it's there. Yes, it does devalue the actual cover, but if you do stuff which I've been doing, and I've got to show you an example, for instance, let me get it out here, and you start messing around with covers, then you're going to find yourself in problems, you know, because then people really don't want it. Now, another collector's album is this John Hall. But look, you'd rather have it like this. This is the worst thing you can ever do. Put sellotape on it. Once you've done that, and then you have pen marks on it. Once you've done that, it's all over. It's, you know, chuck it, it's garbage, because you've actually ruined it by putting sellotape on there. So if you've got stuff like this at home, and you notice I'm selling a lot of reggae albums because it's now non-existent. This particular album is worth money. Now, the reasons why it's worth money is because of bike collectors as well. A bike collector can see this and say, CB200s don't exist no more. These motorbikes, and collectors have bought them all around the place. So imagine you get a frame and you put this up. They'll be bidding for this. It's money. It's logical. They do not want the vinyl. They don't even know Dillinger. They don't want the vinyl. They want the cover, and they want the original cover. So if they put it, you know, in a motorbike collect shop, that's them. They'll be boasting about it all day, going, look, I've got this, you know, I've got this album cover, and they've got it there in their workshop. There is always a buyer for something. This is what people's got to remember. There's always someone out there who's going to buy, you know. Even this, when we come to covers like this, old covers, tighten up covers, they were produced by Trojan Records. Now, again, these things here, it's not about Trojan Records. It's about the actual cover. Now, some of the covers were a bit scampy back in the days and trying to put down black music with women underdressed. As I say, as a ethnic minority people, black people, with a woman with snake around their neck, showing her breast and all that kind of thing. It you know, degraded our music. It was just like people just going there back in the days, I think in the 70s, with a Mac coat on, looking to get a thrill out of looking at Trojan covers, I would say, back in the days. It wasn't their fault. It was a form of marketing, right? Did it help the music? Yes, it did, because back in the day you had skinheads, which were, and mods, which were into reggae music. They hated us first, but then they loved our music. If it makes sense to you, then it does. If it doesn't to me neither. But that's the way life changes around. Then you get stuff like this, which I'm going to show more in detail, where you get, it's a promo cover. Now, it's about the headphones. It's about the way that photography was taken and was done. It was promo. Around the world, existence of this particular cover is very limited. There is not a lot of this cover around in the world. You know, if there's maybe 1,000, you'll be lucky. So that is worth money. Same with Bad Boy. Bad Boy is a recent cover, but again, when you used to get Bad Boy, that was a promo cover. Bad Boy may be done, maybe 30,000 of these covers, 40,000. There's not a lot in the world. And most of them now, people must probably chuck them away, got rid of them, whatever. So now it's non-existent, you know. So what we got to look into is this. How do we generate and make money from these things? Now, there's two ways you can make money from these things. You can either sell them straight away, because it's a buyer's market now. But that person who you sold it to is going to make a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money, because they have patience to sit down and wait for it. It's like wine. If you have wine You drink the wine when it's not matured, you'll be spitting it out. You have to wait for about 5-10 years for that to mature. Now, some of us haven't got time, but we need to speak to, if we have children, nephews, nieces, or cousins, you turn around and go, do not sell this till 10 years time. You'll be making their life a lot easier, and they can, make money. And if they need to send their children to colleges and uni, then they can, off of maybe one album cover. And you've seen it before. People's going, oh, at auction, this broke a record. It got 12 million, or £1 million for this particular album sleeve or whatever. It happens. But we've got to be patient. But if you're in need of the money now, I'm not turning around and telling you, none of you, not to sell it. Sell. You want to sell, make that money, if you're not patient. If it's just clogging up your space and you think it's junk, then sell it. As I said, these are the things to look out for. Some of them ain't going to be worth nothing. Again, in the near future, stuff like this particular cover here, Nas, as simple as it looks, this is an iconic hip-hop cover, right? Even comics have used this on artwork, and they call it hip-hop memorabilia comics. They used it on Marvel, and Marvel got a big response for it. They was using Wu-Tang covers, Public Enemy covers, and painting Marvel heroes in them particular. They had a series like that. If you look on the website, you will see, or go on eBay, they sell for a lot of money, right? Another thing which is going to be worth money in the CD world. As you can see, there's the artwork here and this spine here. Japanese CDs are worth money. Even now, they're worth money. You could sell something what I just showed you now for maybe about 30, 40, 50 quid. It's worth money. The reason why it's worth money, because the digital printing on CDs for Japanese copies was worth a lot more. The quality was a lot better. The enhancements of the treble, the mids and the bass was a lot, because it's digitally modified, especially in jazz. Again, that's this spine here. And as you can see, all in Japanese writing. These things are worth money. I remember I went into a shop on Shaftesbury Avenue, and they were selling these things for £2 a pop. Now, to get rid of them, they didn't know what they had. It's business, so they just was getting rid of it. That if they only knew, this £2 a pop, this album, for me to sell this now, I can get like 50 quid for this album, because it is Japanese. That's the long and short of it. The copy was a lot better. The production was a lot better, and the enhancement. Sorry to talk about the dead, but this is what happened when you pass away. Stuff like this, Whitney Houston. This album did not sell well. It was a greatest hits. It actually flopped. But the artwork on this particular album, that, if you've got that on vinyl, that is now worth a lot of money. And when I mean a lot of money, it is now worth a lot of money. Because if it's the original vinyl, and they did not print up a lot of that particular album of the Whitney Houston greatest hits on vinyl, because the CD sales were so poor. So who's got vinyl on that? That's very rare to have vinyl. And remember, people's got to think about things like this now. What you need to think about is that the world is a big place. We've got trillions of people all over the planet. Now, at the end of the day, when a company starts printing up stuff, you could export it to there, or anywhere you want to export it to. But that is not a lot of copies around the whole global world. So it's only niche copies which are there. And especially if it's a small run as well. Because after a time, the record companies just turn around, and if it's not selling, they pull it. A lot of time what they do with old albums, they put a hole in there or scratch off the barcode and give it to secondhand shops for virtually nothing, to just get rid of it, you know, because they're going to chuck it anyway. And a lot of them things are being chucked, put in skips, burnt, you name it. And then it becomes a scarcity. Something like this now, Prince, again, passed away, rest in peace, Prince. But it's not the actual CD, which is worth money. It's the artwork. On this, it's the artwork. And when you look inside there, as you open the cover, on the CD, you see Prince. Someone's done artwork on Prince inside there. Again, worth money. Because at the time, Prince was having an argument with his label, and they were his label to get back at Prince, were printing near to nothing that he could make his money from his albums, so that his albums then became, you know, instead of printing up maybe 4 million copies, 2 million copies, they were printing up maybe like 30,000, 20,000 copies of a particular album. So Prince was stifling him and he couldn't make the money, you know. But as soon as he passed away, then they started to flood the market, but not with stuff that they printed up a small amount of copies. They started to put out about the popular copies of Prince in the record shops, which they know they were radio played, because the later copies of stuff what Prince done, the later music, they weren't radio played, so nobody was hearing them, and they were neither the underground people was touching Prince stuff, neither. So there was two entities not supporting Prince. So I'm not going to babble on about Prince, you know, but I'm just babbling on when someone passes away, it's down for the whole market infrastructure to come together to make an album, you know, powerful, for it to have big sales out there, for it to turn around and become an iconic album. The problem what we're having nowadays is that people are sitting down on gold mines. There's money there to be made. As I said, right about now, there's a lot of money out there to be made. Now, people's going to turn around and you can look at something like this. Biggie Smalls, One More Chance. Everyone remember this cover. But at the end of the day, in this cover, it's got P 1994. And it was copied in 1995. So this cover here is not the original cover. This is a copy, because once he passed away, they flooded the market with this and they re-put this back out. Again, it's not going to be worth nothing, splitting the cover. That it's not really worth nothing. Unless you keep your vinyl prestige, then it's going to be worth money. When we go to the English side of things, with us, we wasn't getting our soul music. We wasn't getting our, we was flooded with a lot of pop music. So Street Sounds, a label, found a way to give black music that we wanted, that we couldn't find. So something like this is worth a lot of money now. Because then Street Sounds started to put out stuff like this for our community. Gap Band, Stanley Clarke, Jones Girls, George Howard, all of these things, but all in full length. Because we would buy them on 12 inches, but you could never get this on an album. And so now, it's just people saying, well, right, the vinyl's going to be worth money. It's not that. This is worth money for its artwork. That's all it's worth. Because people's going to frame it and go, well, I got the first Street Sounds. This is edition 9, right? But this edition here with somebody with getting the cane and skateboarding, this edition 9 is worth money. because at the end of the day, that was the best edition, and that drew people's attention to music that we were getting together with things out there, you know. Another thing which is worth money is this Wu-Tang, Shaheem. Not a lot of copies printed. The artwork, look at this artwork. Then go to the back. Wow. Right? He was the youngest member of Wu-Tang. So this was not printed up in abundancy. And because it was not printed up in abundancy, it's worth money. I can't put a monetary fund on it because it's very hard to. That could be worth £100. That could be worth £2,000 because there was a lot, and a lot of people have not got that because they had problems with the whole thing, because he was a youngster. He was cursing in them records, not in a nasty manner, but the way he rhymes on there is just unbelievable. And I'll be playing some of that in my show, my forthcoming shows to show you how good he was as a rapper. Next one on collectibles will be Earth, Wind and Fire. Again, if you get something like this, look at that. Look at that. Look at that artwork. You know? And then when you go inside, you got that. You know, look at that. You got all the words, everything. Then you come to the back. Look at that. Now, again, it has to be the original because these things are being repressed so many times. Again, you look for the P. The P will have the original date of the pressing. If it's an original cover, you're out to make money. At this present moment in time, making money from this album, you will not. You'll just get the bare minimum for that. If you bought that album in maybe into one of them exchange stores, they might give you £4 for it, depending on the condition, because they go by the vinyl. If the vinyl's a bit more, they'll give you a £5 for it. And they'll most probably sell that particular vinyl, for about £25, £30, right? Again, this again with Miss Khan here, this is going to be worth money because of the artwork, but it's not going to be worth money to me because it's split there and all that. Now you bring in again to a second-hand store, they'll look at the vinyl. I've put a print on it, which then that literally goes down in price, right? But if you've got the vinyl, which is good, again, that particular 12, they could offer you something like £5 for it, maybe £3 for it, and they'll sell it for like £30, £25, whatever. We need to start digging out this attic and looking, but also we need patience. If you want to get, and I'm going to keep on emphasizing this now, if you want to get rid of your vinyl now, you want to get rid of your CDs now, then get rid of them to make that bit of money. And you can't begrudge somebody else for then taking your stuff, and then you walk into the shop and you go, my God, that's how much he's making or she's making profit on me. You can't do that. If you waited and presented it at a later time, or even went to auction with it, the auctioneer obviously is going to take his piece out of it, but you would get a lot more money depending on the conditions, if you know what to look for, or you have someone evaluate your records or your CDs. Now, you can make a living off of this by basically not selling a collection, but selling individual bits. Some bits ain't going to be worth nothing. But I'll be doing another show on this, and also most probably a Zoom that you can show what you've got, and then I can explain to you how much this is if this is worth or what it ain't gonna be worth, and you can then make up your mind whether or not you're gonna sell it. I can only advise you. I'm not going to turn around and say this thing is going to be worth nothing, and then 10 years when you're at home going Antiques Roadshow, you're going, oh, I had that. And then they're selling it for like £1,000, and you go, well, Trevor C told me that those are worth nothing. No, I can only advise you at that particular time what your vinyl's going to be worth. Now, the best place to sell your vinyl is most probably on eBay, Tracksource, and all them other platforms. But remember, you cannot lie to the general public. You've got to put a proper description of what you are selling. You can't turn around and go, oh, this is mint, and there's scratches, or you've put a pen mark on there. You can't. You can put secondhand, not in good condition, and they'll make you an offer. You can start your offers from maybe like £1. People might not even come back to you, but that's the way it is. Or you can go into these vinyl stores and barter with them. And they can turn around and say, well, okay, this is worth this. To them, it might not be worth that amount. But at least you've been in there and bartered with them. Or what I had, they came to me and they came around and saw me, and we came to an agreement, and they came through, and it was like a night of looking through vinyl upon vinyl, and they offered me a substantial amount of money. But you had to barter. The money that they offer me, they start low, then they meet you, you meet them in the middle, marry up together, and that's it. The music is going to be the future history now, where people, and it's very popular at the present moment with Banksy and all of that, is pop art. People are collecting these things. So I'll do another show in depth of what pop art you should be looking out for, because these particular artists, some of them are born in Harlem, some of them are just artists from around the world will do an album cover and they disappear. Some of them have gone on to bigger things with where they've done an album cover and now they're big artists doing different things, right? So at the end of the day, we've got to be looking at things differently in this music world. The music world is changing in a mass way. And at the end of the day, if we do not follow this trend now, you're going to regret it later on. Somewhere in your attic, if you collected hip-hop, if you collected R&B, if you collected soul, or you've had a mishmash collection of reggae, drum and bass, even down to drum and bass, it's worth money now with, and even colored vinyl is worth a lot of money at this present moment. Yellow vinyl, orange vinyl, blue vinyl, they're worth money because it's limited press. Now I'm talking about the vinyl now, inserted into these covers. They're worth money. Now, if both of them married together, that you've got good artwork and you've got a blue vinyl, then you're talking about a lot of money. Or you got good artwork and it's a yellow vinyl, you've got a lot of money. But the two have to marry together. If they don't marry together, then the amount of money you're thinking about is not really a lot of money. Now, if you want to make some money for the New Year's, you yourself have to do your research. Go onto eBay and look at certain stuff what they got, and you type in maybe soul. You go down and you'll see, and you put vinyl, soul vinyl, and you see secondhand vinyl which is selling. You turn around and you say, wow. But it's not selling for the vinyl, it's selling for the artwork. Right? So you're going to get caught out. It's like a thin line between love and hate, because they're actually saying the vinyl's good quality. Or they might say it's used, it's scratched or whatever. But you could look on a particular vinyl, a particular album, and if the artwork is good, they're really selling it for the artwork. They're not really selling it for the vinyl, because they know the vinyl has no significance at all. Now, as I said, people who have money to, you know, spend at this present moment in time. That's what they're doing. They're buying frames and they're putting the vinyl in frames, and they're not even that music. So we've got to be looking into it. And I will be doing another show because I don't want to keep on going round and round and round. I'm just giving you an idea of what you should be looking out for in the market at this particular time. So we need to look into this market. We need to investigate. You need to investigate and see the vinyl that you've got in your cupboards, in your living room, even from your parents' days, that they've left you. And the covers, that's what you're looking on. And if they're in mint condition, with no tape on, no tears, and they look really good from back in the days, you're into moolah, a lot of money. If not, at least you are making something. Because if you have like 100 records with different artwork, half decent vinyl, you'll be making money instantly. Now, these people are going around for CDs as well. People going, well, what about CDs? CD covers, again, as I showed you with the prints, for example, they're worth money because there weren't a lot of them printed. So when you sell it to these people who are buying CDs and you get the barcode, you scan them, you know the ones which I'm talking about. The problem is they'll offer you the bare minimum for it. And that's what you'll get, the bare minimum. And they get thousands from around all the world. And they indulge into this and they take out the good ones, put them aside, and they'll leave them there for 5 to 10 years. That's what they'll do. They'll just leave it. Again, it's not their fault in what they do. It's not their fault at all. So they're there to make money. So they'll go, stack that away for 10 years, leave it there. We'll get rid of this. So they're still turning over anyway. Because what you know, what they gave you 25 pence for, they're now selling for £1.50. So it's a decent profit. And if people really want it, they're going to buy it. So it's all about the artwork. They've known, they've studied. Same with the vinyl. It's all about the artwork now. It's not literally about the vinyl. It's about the artwork. A certain artwork is going to sell. Because people are not buying music to play. They're buying music for the artwork. And that's what they're buying it for. So I hope this has been helpful. I'm going to do another show and showing you Pacific covers. I just skimmed through this with, you know, with the CDs which are from Japan, showing you how you can make money instantly on them at this on these products now. The Japan CDs, you're going to make money instantly. You can sell them for 30, 40, 50 quid. You're going to make money on them straight away. You don't have to wait for time to expand on those. You can sell these straight away. You can ask whatever you want to ask for them because they're Japanese copies. And there's not a lot of them in existence. They didn't make many. So you can sell those straight away and command your money. So we'll be looking into stuff. So you need to do your investigations as well. Just don't take it from me because I'm not going to be there investigating everything for everybody. I can only give my advice, put out to you what you need to be looking out for. So we will be doing another show on this with Pacific covers that you need to be looking out for. So don't feel downhearted like, this is what I don't want to hear. Don't feel that way about it. It's reality. It's called patience. So you need to be patient if you want to make this money. But if you need money at this present moment in time, or you're just fed up of the place being chucked up again, sell, 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 sell. But don't cry afterwards. when you see your products being sold for down 5 years or 10 years down the line for a lot of money, where you could add a mortgage or send your granddaughter or grandson to uni to do a degree, and don't worry about it. These things are called investments. The same way they're doing with the trainers, or we call them trainers back in the day. They're now sneakers. The same way they're doing on the market now, flipping these trainers around, these Nikes, and they've got their little stock market. The same way they're doing with comics at this present moment, they're flipping them around and saying, yep, 1 week you can buy a comic for £3, 20 pence. By 2 weeks down the line, that same comic you bought for £3.20 is worth £150. There's a market which is started up on this, and they're doing it, but they're doing it on the down low. They're not making people know, because it's going to be busting very, very, very soon. So thanks for taking time out. And as I said, I'm going to try and get a Zoom together so you can show me your covers and whatever, and then I can reply to you on this particular Zoom meeting. But I will do another show on this with Pacific covers, as I said before, and you can look in to see if you've got these particular tracks at home. To tell you the truth, I will not be messing around with pop music because it is not my forte. So it'll be mostly soul, R&B, hip hop, jazz, drum and bass, anything to do with our culture, our music, right? So, and even broken beats covers as well. So, with all said, thank you for your time. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you can get something from this. If not, it can please some people some of the time, but you can't please everybody half the time. Remember, subscribe to the channel. We have still got more family review shows coming up. We've still got, my next show is with the iconic Aretha Franklin. We'll be reviewing her works and her times here on Earth. Also, underrated person, but she can sing the bells off, Patty Austin. And then again, Philadelphia artist who changed the world of music with her golden voice, and she's still around now, Miss Jean Khan. So look out for that show, and everyone keep well over this holiday period, and be careful. Thanks.